Hello, peoples, and welcome back to War for the Crown, Songbird Scion Saboteur. Last we left, the party ventured to the Stockies pump house, dealt with some ghouls and a big old tentacle boy, killed them off, found some goodies, lots of goodies in fact, and began their journey back to the town, which I'll take us to that map. Where's my map? Here's my map. The County of Merritt. Here's your little town. You know, like swampland. Pump house is somewhere around there. Mm-hmm. And you guys were last, making your way back to town. Let's see. You guys, after the resting from the Jubilee, you went to the Bettany Estate. You met Cassidon. You did some rearranging, and then you left for the town. And then you went to the pump house. So I'm gonna call it it's maybe 3 o'clock, 3 p.m. Still got daylight by the time, maybe 3:30 by the time you make it back to the town, but you make it back.
I suppose we should meet up with the people from the tavern that we saw before, where Honora was.
Yes, Honora's Tavern. Sure, you can do that. You can head to the little tavern, which is more like, again, it's just her house with a bar.
Yep.
When we walk in, do the people react at all?
You are still achy. Give me, I guess you can give me a, sense motive.
That makes sense. Okay. Load character sheet, thank you.
Is that for everyone?
Just him.
All right.
12. You might get a head turn or two at, some people just seeing you enter the little place, but most people aren't really interested. They're more interested in their drinks.
Okay. I suppose I'll walk up to Honora and, because I think I remember the last time we came here, a good chunk of them said they worked at the pump house. I guess I'll ask Honora if she knows specifically who would be qualified to repair said pump house rather than just, general workers.
That is a good question. Let me find Honora. I think Honora would tell you that most of the people here in town are farmers who have either worked on their own farms or worked at the pump house, and that if you're able to bring it back up to speed, most those here would be able to go and work on it to fix.
Okay, so it's kind of like just we could randomly pick, and people would be able to repair it, given like we give them the funds they need to get the materials.
Given you have the ability to repair it, yeah.
Okay. I guess I'll hold up a gold coin and kind of place it on one of the nearby tables, and I'll say, continuing our exchange for information, could you point me to the most senior pump house workers that you know of in this tavern? And I'll say that very clearly, not like I'm trying to hide it or just speak specifically to this table, but like everyone knows that I'm putting the coins down again.
Mm-hmm. I mean, one of the humans gladly takes the coin and just gives you, a simple response of, "That's most of us."
Most of you? All right. How many of you will it take to repair the pump house? It's been cleared of the dangers within. We can provide the funds.
Let me read something. Some of them, the general consensus of the group of people in the tavern is semi-appreciation of what you're telling them, but they also say, if you have the funds, actually put it up first before we decide to work for you.
I mean, that makes sense. I'm gonna ask, and I'm gonna kind of lean towards my party to kind of ask for help with a sense motive check here. Who should we entrust the funds to?
Honora actually pipes up and says, "If you want to give it to me, acting as the bartender and sheriff of the town, I can keep an eye on it."
I'm gonna kind of just look around. Could I ask for a sense motive help with the other party members?
Sure.
You're not getting too much from me right now.
Yeah, you can get some help from one of them.
Cassidon, would you happen to have a good sense motive check? Are you speaking?
There's a big ol' muted microphone next to his name.
Okay, I'll search
just one.
up. What?
I cannot hear. There you go.
Oh. Okay.
I had you muted.
Oh. Okay,
Deserved.
Okay. I was asking for help with sense motive checks.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Oh, and then +7. Okay, we'll do that. So
Okay.
That's 24 on Cassidon sense motive.
Okay, hold on. who's doing the roll? Who's giving the bonus?
My intent was to ask someone else to get a read of the room and act based upon what they're telling me.
Okay, so you want to get a read of the room and act on what they're telling you? Like, as in...
Yeah, kind of like if I was looking at a building and I'd be like, I don't know how to make heads or tails of this building, and then I ask an engineer what they think of the building, right? And then I'll make a decision based off what the engineer tells me. If that makes sense.
No, you got me stumped.
He wants to take the
What do you
advice of
want?
somebody else. So he's asking Cassidy to check while he's talking to see who's basically who's being honest. That's what he's looking for.
Okay. All right. Okay, so that's simple. You're looking for a second opinion.
Yes. Sorry,
Okay. Then Cassidy, while Desmond's talking to the people, I mean, none of them seem like they're lying. None of them seem like they're, against any plans that you have. They're just so, I guess, downtrodden from the other nobles not taking care of the town, that if they're gonna help you, they need to see some of that cha-ching.
Alright, I suppose I sort of wait for, I guess, a moment where I could convey this information to Desmond. Just telling him, like, hey, so I don't think there's anyone here that's really trying to stop us. I suppose the easiest way to say it is they want proof that, or they want to be paid for their labor.
All right, fair enough. Desmond's gonna drop 1,000 gold pieces. We'll assume that it's pre-counted. I don't think we need to RP counting the coins, but I will put a pouch of 1,000 gold pieces in front of Honora, and I suppose that's that. Does anyone else have anything to add to this conversation or interaction?
Nope.
Not personally. I want to get on to the next thing.
All right, citizens of Stockies, it was a pleasure. We'll be back soon.
As you go to head out, Honora says, before you go, we just have one bit of business, as the sheriff here and you being the new overseers of the town. Later on in the day, we're going to be having a trial for one of the criminals that you all would need to oversee. Don't worry, I'll send you a letter when the time comes, but it is required of your duties to be here for the trial.
Oh,
or at
good.
least the old overseers of the town would come.
Very
Oh,
well.
good. We're arbiters now. Okay, well, I guess I will leave the abode and wait for everyone outside.
And just to restate, Aurora said that trial was later today.
Later today, and if you weren't sticking around in town, she'll find a letter to your estate.
Okay. All right. What's the next closest business point that we can tackle?
Are you asking me, or are you asking everyone?
Everyone? Question mark?
Right. Well, draining and working the vineyard is one of the top things, but also that's gonna need the pump house to be operational, so we gotta give that some time. So trade bridge, windmill. Where would those be? Those were over at the Gold Coast Canyon, right? Or at least one of those.
Yes. The Gold Canyon Bridge is currently in disrepair, which has been preventing a lot of trade in and out of stockies to other locations.
Is that in our little Discord list?
Yes, the Gold Canyon Bridge.
There it is.
Okay, so Gold Canyon Bridge. So what you're telling us is Okara's supplies would not be enough to repair it.
Currently, no, but Okara's supplies would equal 1,000 gold, whether it be for one of the 1,000 gold options or if you chose to save it.
Okay.
Because unless I am missing it, it does not have a monetary value.
Right.
Just says,
Weird.
Hey, you guys made Okara friendly? Take some wood.
Now,
Damn, we made him too friendly.
yeah. Out of curiosity, and I forget if this was already discussed, is there a method for us to passively generate income?
So no. But from what I've been reading, this section of adventure is very money heavy. As in, you guys will get a lot of money if you do all of the various stuff. But as I've explained in a previous session, I don't know how to give you all the various stuff because of how open-ended it is, which is awesome. It's awesome that this chapter of the book is open-ended, but there is I don't know how to give you this stuff while you are it's very weird. Because as long as you guys are kind of locked in town, which you're kind of meant to be for a while, it's hard. It looks hard for me to give you side quests.
Very well. So shall we kind of make some stretches and we'll kind of count on some yes ending?
Yeah, that can work. I mean, I guess there's some stuff I can give you, but
It's okay. We should figure out how to run into it. Is what we just did. I mean, we killed the quote-unquote ghost. That's its own thing. But sending them out, was that effectively the basic pump house
that would be
quota?
Yeah, putting 1,000 gold to the basic pump house, that would be achieved.
Okay. Thank you.
So I will cross that out.
Is there perhaps a notary or like a town newspaper? Or even like a regional newspaper?
That's a good question. Give me a perception.
Perception. Okay. I'm trained in perception. Not very well, though.
Wow. You're looking around town. There doesn't really seem to be any boards, or if there was a newspaper stand, it is not. It is a tiny little like milk carton with muddy, rotten-looking newspapers in front of Honora's tavern.
Okay. Well, I'll sift through the shitty-looking papers. Yeah, that was my question too about the vineyards. I'm gonna ask the party to kind of help me sift. I'm not sure what kind of check that would be. If that would be considered a perception or an appraise or what have you. But I would hope that one of us could find some relevant news regarding the surrounding area.
Since you brought it up, I think I want to say appraise.
Okay. I know someone has a good appraise score over here.
Yeah, Anastasia would offer to do that.
Okay. You grab the icky, muddy newspaper.
14.
14. I'll say is decent enough to be able to kind of wipe away some of the mud and clear up just enough to reveal a simple headline. Which, let's see here. I need to close all my notes so I can look at the map, because I need to reveal a location. I'm gonna reveal this. Lake Pensaris. Because on the headline, it's a very simple headline that reads, angler missing at Lake Pensaris after attempting to fish the legendary creature known as the General.
The General, that sounds like it probably belongs to an alligator or something.
Okay. New task, kill an alligator.
Right? Or a really
Well,
big catfish, who knows?
Really find angler and uncover dangers. Okay. That's another task we can do.
Would there happen to be anything in the area that we managed to uncover?
As in,
something in less than a day's travel, like nearby. Because if we've got to attend this trial today, then, I mean, it's kind of difficult to schedule any further travel around that.
most locations surrounding the Bettany estate and Stockys would take several hours to get to. Even going from place to place. I think with the time of day that it is now, if you were to go to like Lake Pensaris or the Gold Coast Canyon, it would be very late in the day.
Okay, that's understandable. Well, I suppose we're just going to be killing some time until the trial. Unless any number of us would like to head somewhere else while some of us stay here for the trial. But it does seem like it's one of our duties as the new overseers, as it was put.
Correct.
I guess what time is the trial, like, in terms of hours from now?
In terms of hours, it would be, let's see, if it's around 3:30 now. The trial would be around as sun begins to lower, when people are up and or not up and at 'em, but mostly gathered in town back from what they're doing, which would be around 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Okay, so we've got another 4 hours or so. I think I'll probably just take a stroll around town and see what I can do to help around. Doesn't seem to be anything more efficient I can do with my time.
Sure. You're taking a stroll around town. What about everyone else?
I'm gonna see if I can look for like the marketplace area of Saki.
Sure. Anna, Aravid?
How long would it take getting from Stocky's to the Bettany estate? How long did it take us before?
Not long at all. Maybe because it's on a hill. You go down a road to Stocky's. At most, maybe 45 minutes.
Okay, sorry, just some interference. Yeah, I will probably go back to the Bettany estate personally. Spend some time doing a little bit of upkeep to my standards.
Sure. How about Anna?
I think Anastasia would make it a point to probably go around town and talk to a lot of the locals and maybe see if I can figure out who in the town is best equipped to do what. So when everybody starts developing the town, I can kind of direct the party to, hey, you should talk to this person about this particular project, or this person knows about these things, so reach out to them. So just kind of get a feel for who's in town and who knows what.
This sounds exactly like what she did for a living prior to me meeting her.
Okay, so I will ask that Desmond and Anna both roll me a d10, please.
Anastasia got a 2.
And a 5.
Okay, so while walking around town, it's just some general rumors you overhear walking around town talking to people. And I'll share them for everyone. But while walking around, Desmond, you overhear some people talking about one of the barons of Merritt County. Baron Tellis has stopped lending it to his duties and lets his townfolk loot as they please. It's disgraceful, one of the humans says to his wife. Count Lothid should have stepped in to put a stop to this years ago, but I guess he doesn't care so long as Tellis' little bandit army leaves his lands alone. And this conversation is kind of happening in front of one of the wooden makeshift houses on the mud road.
I think Desmond, knowing that he's going to be outside for a while in the afternoon, probably would have taken his coat off and just tied it around his waist. Probably looks a little less aristocratic that way, so as to look approachable.
Look at this hipster we got in town. Run him out.
I would say I happen to eavesdrop on your conversation. Forgive me, but where are these bandits? Perhaps I can take care of them.
These bandits, we heard that they're at the old Newtown in the ruins of the Newtown and Baron Tellis' estate. We've heard that the Baron is just giving away his own town to these bandits to do whatever they please. It's a disgrace that the Count does nothing about this, having brazen bandits in our lands under one of the other barons.
Well, I think it's time we put a stop to that. What did you say your name was?
This is funny. This is one of my go-to names for all campaigns.
I love drawing out names.
His name is Smith.
Smith. I like it.
Will Smith.
Will Smith. All right. It wouldn't be unreasonable to make assumptions on his appearance, is it? Or is that pretty accurate?
You know.
It's just for theater of the mind stuff, but
keep his wife's name out your mouth. He's level 20 monk.
Oh, jeez. With stunning strike, I'm sure. My name is Desmond. I'm one of the new masters of the Bettany estate. And if you just point me in the right direction, I'll make sure they don't bother you anymore. Or anyone in this area.
Okay. And he will point as I look on my map for where it is. I think it is. Let me look. I'm pretty sure it is. If I'm correct, it is this place. You'll see it near Lake Pensaris. 4F.
Nice. Looks like
Actually,
got a lot of... Oh.
Hold on. Okay, I got that wrong. Well, I'm gonna leave that there. I believe it's actually. I'm gonna show you locations anyways. It's this place. It's near Lachlan Lake. That's actually where it is.
Okay, thank you.
I got my lakes mixed up.
And then if there's an excerpt for general, I'd appreciate that. I'm just taking notes.
An excerpt?
Yeah, if you have like a little snippet, kind of like what this one was. Unless there's
there is.
Okay.
I mean, I edited it to make sense in terms of a newspaper headline.
Okay, that makes sense.
But the actual this otherwise this would have been a possible rumor.
Okay.
But this is what the actual rumor is, and then I'll type in the edited version.
Okay. Tap it tap. Tappy tap it tap. This is what it sounds like when there's like a speech bubble with like ellipsis over an NPC. Oh, okay, yeah.
So the first one's the
That's
actual rumor. The second one is what you would have seen on the newspaper.
Okay, got it. Okay, cool. Well, Lady Smith, perhaps I'll see you soon and let you know how those bandits have been taken care of.
Nods his head, thanks you, and gets back to conversation with his wife.
I guess this is just me wondering. It's not like my perception's all that great, but while I'm walking away, do I hear them say anything about like, that guy's probably gonna get killed or something like that?
I don't think I would ask for a roll, mostly because the people in this town aren't exactly the type to whisper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You definitely hear Will Smith telling his wife that, you know, because you still have the look of nobility, even with your jacket tied around, I would imagine, you still, you know, you're not someone in rags like the people.
Yeah, I have a clearly regal,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
And so you do definitely overhear, you know, this guy, he's gonna ruin this town by getting himself killed. But you know what? Power to him.
I mean,
At least he'll
yeah.
die with dignity.
I'll count that as a net positive statement. All right, much appreciated. Next person.
Anna, while you're kind of walking around and getting the overview of people, it really does seem like everyone in town kind of does everything. There isn't really one group who's better at another. It kind of seems like when the town was previously being funded, everyone would pitch in. You know, people would work the farms, people would work the pump house. Everyone would kind of do a little bit of everything.
Okay.
People would come in from when the town had markets. People would come from the farms to do the markets. But no one's funding the town, or no one's been funding the town for quite a while, so no one's been working. But while going around and getting this overview and talking to people, it's probably very different from your line of work, or your family's line of work, considering the money you come from. Whatever that means to Anna. But while you're walking around, you know, seeing all these people chat, talking to the people, you do overhear two women chatting amongst themselves. And you hear this. You hear them talking about the Night Swan and how he struck a trade convoy from Casimir. They're talking about how they've overheard that he gives from the takes from the rich and gives to the poor, but how it sounds more like Galton propaganda than reality, and how they really can't imagine anyone just giving away money, despite seeing a rather bold noble giving away money in the Stockist Tavern.
Who would do that?
Do I recognize the name Night Swan?
Give me a knowledge local.
Sure. Bleh. 26.
26. You do recognize the name Night Swan. The Night Swan is a known vigilante within the within the town of Lothheed, or Lotheder, which is up here near the Palace of Birdsong.
Oh, so from my hometown.
Yep. And they are very famously known for going after the various barons and higher nobles.
Lovely. Based on their conversation, it sounds like it just recently happened, right?
Yes, it sounds like this attack on the convoys recently happened, and from the inflection that they're giving, you also get the idea that it certainly sounds like while they wouldn't openly support the Night Swan, they also aren't against the idea of getting free money.
Yeah, that's understandable. Interesting. Okay. As a noble from that city, that makes me very uncomfortable.
But that's what you're able to gather and overhear while doing your own walking around the town. Cassidon, you begin walking around. You do eventually find like a little plot in the middle of the town where a market would be. It is mostly rundown stalls that haven't been upkept in a while. You do see one or two people at one of these stalls attempting to sell like little trinkets, but it is not a bustling market. It is very small with people selling like twine trinkets and painted rocks.
I suppose I'm gonna go up to like one of the operational stalls and I guess engage in small talk like, oh, what are you selling? And well, I guess I'll start with that. It's like, what are you selling?
Yeah, basically, the man behind the counter, a little older man, he goes, "Oh well, my grandson, he finds whatever rocks he can and paints these faces on them." And you look, and they're various rocks with obvious child paintings on them. It's not much, but we do what we can here to make the little we can.
I ask him, well, how long have you been living in Stockade?
Well, I'd say my whole life. A good 74 years.
All right. I suppose you must have been here when the town was a little bit more lively. Could you tell me like what you guys used to sell, or like what type of products what type of products were produced?
Well, we're mostly a trade town. We would farm and send our gatherings off to the other towns, and whatever the various trade routes came in with goods, we would buy up and then see if we can sell back. But that hasn't been for a while since the roads have come into disarray.
Are you referring to the Gold Canyon Bridge as like one of the causes?
That would be one of the causes, yes, probably the big cause. The Gold Canyon Bridge would bring most of our trade routes and merchants to the city, or the town, but since the old nobles didn't really care much for us, the bridge has crumbled to bits, and we haven't seen trade in a while.
So the people who used to sell here, did they just move on to different towns, or are there still like merchants just running out of stock here?
Most of the more profitable merchants left and found other places to sell, but some of the families here rely on these mostly homemade stalls. We rely on the trade from outside of towns or the farms. We sell what we can, what crop we grow and trade, but those with the mind to leave town have already done it.
The what would you say if, because I'm here as a representative of the people at the Melanie estate. I was just sort of looking around, and I was wondering like what could we do to improve, like, I guess, the living conditions of this town. And I was curious about your guys' market, seeing like what would it take to get this place back up and running.
Oh, well, we do need repairs to our stalls. If you manage to get that bridge up and running, that would certainly help.
Would you know like what type of material the bridge was made out of? Maybe if we can find a local area where we can acquire the necessary materials.
The bridge is mostly made of stone. If you manage to find some good stone to repair it.
Alright, okay. I'm gonna go ahead and reach into my pocket and pull out a gold coin, as well as ask, or well, I guess grab one of the stones and I'll be saying, "This is for this stone and the information that you given me," and I hand him a gold coin.
You hand him a gold coin, and compared to the other people, the old man's eyes kind of light up, and he goes, "Oh, this will be able to feed my family for some time. Please, I insist. Take any of the stones you like." And he kind of holds his hands out to about 10 or so different painted stones at that stall.
I'll purchase another one next time I come by. Until then, take care of your family, and if anyone has any information on what we could possibly do to improve this town, I'll tell them to, I guess, come to me and, pay them for the information, and
Well, you are a kind young man. I'll make sure to tell anyone who knows anything. And the entire time, Aravid's taken a little jaunt back to the Bettany estate. What is the first thing you do when at the estate, Aravid? I will actually move us all there so we can look at the map and so that everyone can view here. But it is just Aravid back. But what is Aravid doing?
I guess it's
Down there to the front door. How about that?
Yeah. First I'll go check up on Anna's horse. I don't recall any kind of name, but I also believe the horse was left here or something. I don't think we brought it along.
No, because I believe the swamp. Oh no, the horse was left with Nora back in town.
Okay, right.
Because the swampland of the pump house was too difficult to move through with the horse.
Mm-hmm. Well. I think, as much as I do appreciate this room, this is a wonderful, wonderful room with lots of airflow going on. We have 2 full-time individuals living here, plus our guest who seems a little too meek to want to lay claim to a room. So I'm actually going to claim the master bedroom, A21 master suite, and reposition, all the while basically everything has been cleaned due to perpetual prestidigitations, but I am still going to refresh myself in bathrooms.
Mm-hmm. And there is working water. You have plumbing.
Yes, so I will. Yeah, I'll spend my time doing that for now.
As you're doing that, as you're moving about the estate and going upstairs to the master bedroom, one thing you notice as you're walking up the stairs is the bed from your room is lodged in these stairs.
Okay, well that calls for an investigation. Yeah, it was the cat. The cat did this. The
cat's in the background.
Yes, thank you, B. I know. No, that one's B. Well, we know that there is a caretaker that keeps it at least semi-operational in here, but I don't think that they would do that. So I'd really like to investigate to see if there's someone or something else here.
Sure.
Because the wind didn't do that, and I know wind. That was a weird statement, but it actually makes sense.
Do you know Wind personally?
I do.
What's his last name?
Struck.
Alright, so you want to investigate the stray bed?
I want to investigate for corporeal or I guess incorporeal reasons that this bed would be here, because a caretaker would not have done this, nor would the cat that Desmond previously found.
Sure. What would that be? Perception investigation, right? Because that's investigation.
Yeah, unfortunately. Or you could dive into one of the knowledges if you really want me to. Perception. Environmental stuff.
Yeah, I think I'd do perception.
Okay. 20 total.
Okay. You're examining the bed.
22 if it was Walco fiends that did this.
Okay, so 22. No. You're examining the bed. It's not lodged in the railing, but it is stuck enough that it's going to take some work to move. The bed itself, it doesn't seem to be broken, other than the pillows are thrown about and the blanket is on the stairs. Investigating and looking at all the pieces here, we'll say this since this bed was in one of the major rooms, you got memory foam pillows, and in the memory foam, you do spy a paw print. That of a cat's.
Okay. You know what? That's cool.
And I think I think I described the cat that Desmond pet was an orange cat.
Mm-hmm.
With your 20 perception, rather than orange cat sitting on the edge of one of the railings, there's a black cat looking down at you with a curious look on its face.
And to be clear, these are not like exceedingly light frames. This isn't like a feather stuffed. Well, even if it was.
No, these if you're talking about the beds took multiple people to carry.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna look directly at the black cat and just kind of You've already made your way into the Bettany estate. What do you want? I'm not convinced that this is some kind of natural creature, even if it is a shape-shifting one. That's a person. As a show of good faith, I'm not gonna grab my rapier. But I will keep my distance.
Yes, of course. You get our meow.
Bullshit.
And just like because I have a description of a cat I can give you. Just like the orange cat, this black cat is also very mangy looking, like missing pieces of fur, maybe a half chewed off ear.
Okay, well, I will look down and sigh dejectedly, and then I'll hold my hand out as a offering that, okay, maybe there is something else in here that did this, and this really is just a coincidental cat.
All right, so you're holding
for cat.
You're holding your hand out to the cat.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna whisper you something.
Okay.
Please just whisper meow. just meow.
Oh my god. Kenzie, come on.
Was I right?
I can't tell you. It's a whisper.
Yeah.
We love whispers, baby. Okay. All right. The cat makes its way from the railing, kind of just crawling the railing, and comes towards your hand, letting you pet it.
Okay. I'll put it in a way to try to demange it.
You begin petting it. It begins to purr. The cat is enjoying the pets. And as you're petting it, the cat goes, you know, maybe you people ain't half bad.
I think it would take me a second, but I'd probably just respond calmly with like, well, I certainly try to be.
Sorry, what are you doing?
I just responded like, well, I try to not be bad.
He goes, oh, well, that's a good thing. He looks at the bed and goes, well, I guess I can apologize for this. We don't really like people in our house. But you seem alright.
So we're cohabitating in this house. My name is Aravid. Care to explain a little bit more?
You know, we're caretakers of this house, if you will. There's more than just me. There's three of us. The old owner befriended us and let us stay here. In exchange, they gave us treats and food, and we took care of the place. So as long as you and your pals are willing to keep that same deal up, we can keep this place in tip-top shape for you. Oh, I'm Blunk, by the way. Good to meet you. And he hands out a paw.
Nice to meet you too, Blunk. And I'll shake his paw.
You shake his paw.
Do you have other forms, or are you just particularly nimble with the form you have right now?
Oh, the three of us, we like being cats, mostly. It helps when we have intruders. They don't really... No one really seems to expect a stray cat is messing with their...
No,
that
that makes sense.
We like some other forms, and he... Let's see if I... Do I not have a handout? Really? It's kind of messed up that I don't got a handout. Let's see. Is it in? I have one here. Let's find out. We're gonna find out. Player handouts. Let me look at my mods. Alright. Alright. See if I can. It changes shape, and it looks like a little gnomish kind of looking dude. Somewhat. Let's see. Let me find him. Somewhat reddish skin. He's got a handlebar mustache. Not a handlebar mustache, but one of those old-timey beards that is just the beard, no mustache, kind of beard tied into two little knots. He's got small little goat horns. And let's see. I'll post it in our War for the Crown chat in the guild. But this is what you become face to face with. The railing.
I see. Well, any form is as good as any other.
So, where are these other pals of yours? Are they gonna be back anytime soon?
They might. I actually will need to head out at in a few hours to delegate. I guess a man's fate is in my hands. Well, ours. Would you mind helping me move this again? And I gesture to the mattress and bed frame.
Oh, this, don't worry about it. We got this under control. And he kind of waves his hand, and the bed itself begins floating.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You got lucky that we didn't do it while you were in it. Normally, we try and scare people away by just simply taking them from their beds while they're sleeping and throwing them out in the backyard. But that's usually day two.
Unfortunately, I don't think that would have worked too well for you. Got a few tricks up my own sleeves, but good on you for trying.
And like I said, as long as we can keep to that old deal, you feed us, you give us treats and snacks and goods, we'll keep care of this place.
Do you have any preferences?
Sweet rolls, porridge, whiskey.
Works for me. Don't come into the bathroom. That would be a bit of a breach of privacy.
Trust me, I ain't got no plans.
Okay, well, I'm gonna let them do their thing while I lock the door and clean myself up.
Okay.
Refresh myself.
And you are able to do so. And, you take however long you take. And eventually you do find that the staircase is void of any fallen pillows or bedding. Although, rather than, where you were planning to move, the bed is put back into your old room. And if there's anything else you wish to do in the Bettany estate, time passes and you are able to go back to Stachys.
Probably.
Okay. And, we'll say between this, another hour and a half has passed. It's nearing 5:30. Everyone's been walking around chatting with people. It's a small town, so as everyone's kind of walking around, Cassidy and Desmond, and you can all see Aravid making his way down the main road into Stachys. You're all able to gather up. And do what you wish.
Time for the trial, I suppose.
I think it's worth noting that there is a troublesome individual who apparently the actions have led to this town as well as my town, known as the Night Swan. Yeah, known as the Night Swan. This individual has been known for robbing carts, stealing from those more fortunate than others, and giving to those less fortunate than others. While I'm not particularly opposed to that action, I am traditionally not a fan of barbaric standards, I guess. Maybe a good way to word it. In the acts of trying to give money to those who need it. I don't know whether the Night Swan will turn up around here, but it is worth for all of you to be keeping your eyes out for.
Understood. Has anyone seen any sweet rolls or brandy for sale around here?
I get the feeling that sort of products won't be available until we get those those places back up and running.
There is a mill. I suppose getting that operational again will yield bread.
That's true.
Actually, it just sounds like if we get the farms back up, then that should solve the wine and bread issue.
We would still need the mill to process the grains, but yes, without the farms, there would be no bread.
Or we could always get trade going in the town by way of the bridge.
That's true. That's very true. Actually, come to think of it, that individual that you mentioned, Anna, it almost sounds like we could kill two birds with one stone. I've heard rumors of another baron letting his townfolk loot presumably our lands without controlling his. It seems to be strange that that's happening, but I think it's also a problem worth investigating.
I am inclined to agree. I do. And?
That sounds like a good plan for us. Now, where's the rundown courthouse with a box for a stand.
How come I get a feeling it's the tavern?
Probably a
Probably.
good guess. But we can probably tell from the people gathering where it would be. It's not that big of a town.
Which is the tavern.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right,
yeah.
we're back.
Okay, you make your way to the tavern. Later in the day, people are gathering. You do see when you go inside, some of the tables are set up to be kind of like, jury, the defense, the prosecution, and the bar is being used as the judge's stand, which is where Honora is sitting. And she kind of waves you over to join her behind the bar.
Okay.
I walk over to join her.
Same.
You join her, and she gives you the rundown and says, and points at a man, middle-aged man, at the defense, the man being judged for crime. He looks kind of rough for wear, as Honora says. Portimer here was caught by several guards poaching the Count's deer in the Abbey Wood, just north of the Stocky Spur. And after an unfortunate severe beating by the Count's guards, he's been returned here to Stocky's for trial. Now, his defense is he's been insisting that he wounded a deer while hunting south of the canal and followed it to finish off the suffering creature, not realizing he'd accidentally trespassed on the Count's land. Local law for poaching would demand execution for such crime, but seeing as you are the new overseers, you're more than welcome to listen to the people, talk with the people, and judge yourselves.
Good. I like to hear others speak.
It's a good point. It would be worth listening to the town's opinion on this before we weigh in on a issue that we're not all too familiar with. My brother is actually a lawyer, and if he can be a lawyer, I'm sure anyone can be a lawyer.
Okay. And so this trial will begin as Honora takes a makeshift gavel and bangs it on the bar and says, "So we let the trial of Portimer of Stakis begin." And she goes, "Whoever would like to speak in defense of Portimer, you're more than welcome. As you know of our traditional affairs, all are welcome to speak. This isn't a one-sided thing. You will still be judged by those at this table, however." And people begin talking. Portimer, Portimer begins saying, "Oh, please, I didn't know it was the Count's land. My family is struggling. I needed the food." Other people are shouting different things. If someone wants, you can give a diplomacy or knowledge local.
I will make a diplomacy check.
Okay.
A dirty 20.
You are able to gather from all the various people talking, some people coming up at a time, some people are just talking out aloud. Every now and then, Nora has to order in the court. You learn from some people, including Portimer himself, that he himself isn't a hunter. He was trained as a miller, and he's been struggling to get by as a farmer since the mill shut down. And him and his family have been struggling to feed themselves.
I'm going to ask out into the crowd. Did anyone think to follow this man's truthfully? He is not an experienced hunter, and likewise, he would leave quite a trail behind him. If his words are also true, there should be certain amounts of, perhaps, blood on a trail as well. Has anyone gathered any information on that?
Give me a knowledge local.
Okay. Oh. Okay. 16.
16. Some of the people step up. A couple of men step up and say, "Some of us." They seem kind of hesitant to say what they're said, but Honora does say, "In this court, if you have something that could be added to this trial, you should add it." And they say, "Well, we did follow where Portimer said he was hunting, but we could not find any signs of his tracks, nor any signs of deer south of the canal. Unfortunately, it is left to us to assume that he did indeed shoot one on the Count's land, but that should not mean death. A man's family should not go hungry when the Count of this land is refusing to help us." And people begin getting rowdy, and Honora has to go order in the court again.
Portimer, tell me more about your unintentional crossing into the Count's land. You say you began hunting outside of his jurisdiction, and you wandered in. What is the geography like where you came upon and finally slew this deer?
I was, I think I would assume near one of the lakes, one of the canals going into one of the lakes. I didn't realize I've followed a deer that far. It was a simple mistake of not knowing the land well enough. If I would have known that it was the Count's land, I wouldn't have strayed far.
Tell me, what percentage of you in this tavern tonight has actually ever wandered near the Count's lands?
You see a couple hands go up, and some people begin talking and say, we would sometimes go up there for work. Yeah, the old nobles used to send us up there to help out with some things." Another kind of pipes up and shouts, "It's bull hockey. The Count never wanted any of us."
Thank you for that statement. So it does not seem to be unlikely that any of you among stockies would be able to recognize where the boundary of the Count's land is. That would be very unreasonable to say, wouldn't it?
Give me a sense motive.
Oh, thank you, game.
The room seems to, without outwardly saying it, the vibe of the people in the room are definitely agreeing with you.
Okay. All right. It seems like we've gathered a lot of information. Does anyone have a reference as to this law in written form that this man should be put to death, technically speaking? Please keep in mind that this is not any of us passing judgment. We merely want to be apprised of all the circumstances involved.
Honora is actually the one who goes to a nearby kind of little drawer at the bar and pulls out an old-looking piece of paper and hands it to you to read, and points out a few things. Poaching usually means a death sentence. Things like theft and assault. It depends. Normally, theft, you would go with the removal of the limbs that were used to thieve. Assault, perhaps banishment.
All right.
Normally,
Sir Portimer.
it is customary for poachers to get the death sentence.
I see. Sir Portimer, tell me about this injury that you inflicted upon the deer prior to it fleeing into the Count's lands.
Well, I was out looking for any sort of food for my family. I'm not much of a bowman, but I took what I could, and I saw a deer, and I did my best. And, well, unfortunately, it wasn't the best shot, but it was wounded, I think somewhere in its maybe back leg region.
I see.
Sure.
Does anyone have an account of the state of the deer once it was found?
Anna, you get the sense that, I mean, he's clearly pleading for his life. And he's very, you get the feeling that from information already gathered, he's not exactly telling the full truth of the situation. But he's also fearing for his life, so it's kind of telling what he needs to say out of fear. You know, he doesn't want to get hung. So he's telling like half truth, half lie.
Okay.
Of like when you've been hearing him talk about how he didn't know that he was on the Count's land, that's where the half lie comes in. It's possible he could have known, especially from the information of no signs of his tracks in the area that he says he was.
So I can kind of deduce that where he's lying about is that there's a chance that he knew he was on the Count's lands. But
Yes.
everything else seems relatively truthful.
Yes.
Okay.
He definitely was out hunting. You know, his family aren't great. Yes.
Okay.
And what was Desmond's question? Sorry.
I was asking where he wounded the animal, and it seems to have been answered. He wounded it on its hind leg.
Oh, and you were asking, where was the deer found?
Yeah, like what was the state of the deer?
Mm-hmm. Honora would actually say, and, well, unfortunately, we weren't able to recover the deer. The Count's men who roughed up Portimer here dragged him back, but they likely kept the deer for themselves as it was on their land.
I see. Well, surely if it was a poacher that we are dealing with here, then that is probably the proportionate response. However, if what you're saying is true, and you wounded the deer in the back of the leg, my concern here is that, according to the laws of these nobles, you had already dealt a killing blow towards the deer. And if the deer had been fatally wounded outside of the Count's lands, then this would be an easily settled matter. Would you say, Mr. Portimer, that this deer would very likely have died anyways, and you were performing a mercy of sorts after legally hunting it outside of the Count's lands?
Yes, I simply followed it to make sure it wouldn't suffer.
And may I get a clarification on Nora? Are there any laws in the books dealing with trespassing on the land, on the Count's land, or merely poaching and thievery and such? Is the act of existing on the Count's land illegal?
Oh, well, trespassing would be illegal. If one were to trespass, that could fall under banishing them from the town. That's another one where death could come into play depending on how those wish to seek. You could put a trespasser in public service to pay off their crime.
I kind of give Aravid a look. It's like, I mean, a lot of that sounds to be a lot better alternative to death.
Well, surely he was caught in the Count's land, and therefore we have much evidence for this.
Certainly.
Poaching, however, I'd say is quite the weak case.
I agree. How does Honora seem to be reacting to this discussion? And do the people seem to kind of have like a general positive vibe? They're like, hey, I think these guys are going to let this guy go.
Give me a sense motive.
Okay.
Our
and
very hidden meeting
Right,
conversation that we're having here.
I'll let this combine for both Honora and the crowd.
Okay. Okay, so Aravid and I are the primary discussers in this situation. Could we say that I'm either assisting him with a sense motive or he's assisting me with a sense motive?
If one of you would like to assist the other, you certainly could.
I don't personally understand how that would work, but Yeah, I have a +6 to my sense motive.
Okay, then I
Um,
will be assisting you. I think it's probably just like body language.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's a more social thing.
And I'm giving him what, like my wisdom score?
Yeah, laying down the law on what it means to aid.
Oh, I don't have any ranks, so it's just my wisdom score.
Oh, there you go.
So you get a
Do
plus
you have
one.
any? Okay, sweet. And that works.
Oh, wait a second. No, I forgot that I have. Oh wait, we're not doing ranks, right? Or sorry, other bonuses, right? It's just the ranks and score. Okay.
That's what we're going with for mine. I'm not gonna impose that on Pi.
I'm gonna copy that too.
Okay.
So all your ranks and your base modifier
Okay, so then it is plus one.
+1. Okay, works for me. Oh, okay. +7. Hey, Pi, guess what? Guess what the total
What?
is?
Is
Guess what the
that
total
8?
is? It's a 20.
Oh.
I knew it. I had a feeling.
Yeah, my thought process is I also don't want to. I think using the ranks and the score is nicer for me as someone who's running Pathfinder, because personally, I don't want any of you giving +15s to people. That's just me, though.
Yeah.
So what'd you get? You got a 20? Nat or dirty?
In total.
Okay.
Again.
So the vibe of the room from the crowd itself, the crowd of people in the room are all on Portimer's side. They do not want anything happening to him. They seem very supportive of anything but the death penalty. Honora, watching all this, she being the sheriff of the city, or of the town, she doesn't seem to have an issue with going anyway. She's not a necessarily a strict sheriff. She's just the one that dishes out the punishment.
Right.
You can gather that likely the old nobles were the ones who would have the say, and then Honora would dish the punishment. So she has the vibe of, she's listening to everyone. She's not going to be the one to immediately bang the gavel and say to death, even though you guys are saying no.
Right. Honora, would you mind running through the possible punishments for trespassing again?
Sure, trespassing. You can banish one from the town.
Banishment.
Depending on the matter of trespassing, death again is a punishment. Or you can send them into public service, have them pay off their crimes, and depending on the lands that they trespassed, they may be paying towards that count or baron of the land. But that'd be better. I would imagine most would see paying off a baron, no matter the expense, would be better than being hung in the town square.
We'll take note.
I agree. And with no trespassing by plans for murder, per se, I don't quite find hanging to be an apt punishment for this.
I'm in agreement.
Honora looks at Anna and Cassidy and says, what about you two? You are the new nobles of these lands. If you're gonna dish a judgment, all must be in favor.
Yeah, I would say King seems to be overboard, or will not the appropriate punishment. I would say community service would probably be more, since because he didn't technically even take anything from the territory anyway, so I think it would be a very light punishment for trespassing, if anything.
I am inclined to agree. I think that community service and helping out the town and putting skills that you have to work is punishment enough. I do question, though, and I will turn to Honora and say, I will never claim to be one to understand politics outside of my knowledge of the fine jewelry, but as leaders of this town, are we permitted to rewrite laws now?
As the new nobles of and overseers of Starkis, you certainly have some sway in getting something changed if you wish, but these laws were handed down to the various barons and overseers of these towns by the Count himself. So if you wanted to get some of these laws changed, I would seek out Count Lothid.
Well, we will definitely keep that in mind, as we have a standing invitation to visit him whenever we please. Do you have a second copy of that law book, or may I take that back to the estate to make copies of it myself?
I can jot it down on some paper and find a copy your way.
That would be wonderful. All details within that book would surely be appreciated, but for me, from my stance in this case, I do think that community service would be more than a correct punishment for this crime as needed.
So then, and she kind of bangs the gavel to get everyone's attention, and she looks at both sides of the bar, looking at all four judges, and looking at all of you, says, all those in favor of public service for Portima of Starkis on the count of trespassing, raise your hands.
Anastasia raises her hand.
As
Go ahead and raise
does
his
Desmond.
hand.
I'll raise my hand in the same manner that I used to when invited to different small councils in Apara.
Okay. And with that, Honora bangs the gavel again and says, as Sheriff of Starkis, for punishment of trespassing upon the Count's land, Portima, I fine you to public service. And she looks at you all four as judges and says, for taking this first case, the means of your public service will be left to the decision of the fellow judges here and the new overseers of Starkis. So I would suggest you seek them out and figure out what your payment would be. For now, everyone, thank you for coming. And, well, the bar is back open. And she puts the gavel away and almost like people begin kind of cheering. Some people are patting Portimer on the back. He lets us a big sigh of relief. You can see sweat on his face. And she
Desmond
looks
would
at all of you. Yep. I was going to say she looks at all of you and says, I will leave the manner of public service to you all. You are free to decide how he should pay back the town or anyone involved.
Desmond would stand up and say, Portimer, loud enough to kind of interrupt any like early congratulations. I do believe I have a proposed method for your punishment. The farms are currently, shall we say, destitute and are in need of repair. You will work along with others of your choice to repair the farms, and I am here to provide funds for the resources required. But as for your payment, you will be fed, and your family will be fed. Does that find itself to be acceptable?
Oh, that's more than acceptable. Thank you so much. And he kind of gets up to move towards the bar to very vigorously shake your hand.
And when he reaches out to shake my hand, I'm gonna hand him a gold coin, and that'll serve to feed his family for a little while.
Okay.
And then I'll turn to Honora. If none of my companions here are to object to this course of action, I'm willing to make the deposit for those materials right now. Oh yeah, sure.
Well, that'd be great.
Yeah, you
We
can
could
make
send
a
them to work now.
I have a quick.
You have no fucking clue, love. Oh. Yeah. Well, I mean, how do you want to adjudicate this, DM?
I don't even know what's happening.
Oh, okay. So I guess I'll tell Pi like what's going on. Anna wishes to make a sense motive on Desmond to see whether he's doing this with some ulterior motive or he genuinely wants to help.
Okay. Interesting. So I think what I would do and how I would rule this. If you think that... Okay. I know this will probably sound sus for future roles, but just on the spot right now, this is how I'm going to do it. If you think there's nothing for Desmond to hide, the sense motive is just going to go through. But if you think there's something for Desmond to hide, you can roll an opposing bluff.
Okay. I'll be making that bluff check.
So Anna gets nothing. Now that ruling might change in the future, mostly because out of game knowledge, if you roll, you're kind of going, yeah, I'm sus as fuck. But I mean, for now, on the spot,
I can trust Mackenzie to not like metagame that, so I have no issue with the ruling. But yeah, I shake the man's hand and let him go back to his compatriots in the tavern. And I guess I kind of just stretch out a little bit. It wasn't that long of a trial. And I turn to my companions. Shall we head back to the Bethany estate?
I want to ask Nora a quick question. So we've currently made payments for 2 projects. Well, I guess the question is, how much manpower do we have, and do we have any spare manpower left, or would working on those 2 projects basically use up like everyone there at the tavern?
Oh, it shouldn't take the whole town to help with the farms and repair the pump house, but it's gonna take some time. Maybe a day or 2 for the pump house. What do you need people for?
Okay. Let me see. Would it be possible to help provide supplies for just improving? I'm not sure how to word the civic improvements into like an actual conversation. Like, I guess to improve.
It'd be like repairing the roads, fixing the basic necessities.
Okay, I'll go with that then. Like, I noticed as I was walking through the market that everything, the roads were a bit like not well maintained. What supplies could be, I guess, put together to start, I guess, preparing the town.
Well, if you have the coin to buy some wood, some lumber, stone, basic building blocks to take care of the basic buildings and roads and such.
I guess I'm just thinking to myself, you know what, this is probably worth the investment. Go ahead and take out a pouch of coin, or well, a bag of coins. Here's 1,000 gold for repairing the roads as well as some of the structures that have been neglected. This is 1,000 for civic improvements.
Okay. So that is farms, the basic farms, basic civic improvements, and the pump house basic, all repaired. And she says, well, this will be used to buy some supplies. The town thanks you very much. We'll see about getting stuff repaired here. Here, for all of the good you've done so far, why don't you all have a drink on me? And she begins pouring drinks.
Seems like it would be rude to decline.
I guess I'll give it a waft where I sort of like, not like trying to smell as if it's like poisoned or anything, but I suppose I'll take a sip.
Yeah, it's definitely no wine, and it's not even the good stuff. It's very bottom of the barrel tasting. It definitely puts a burn in your throat.
Anastasia mutters very, very softly, I understand why that winery needs to come back up as soon as possible.
Second to that motion. The improvement of the town.
Out of character, the wine that was presented at the like back in chapter 1, was that wine from here?
The wine presented back in chapter 1.
Yeah, the one that we were like, oh yeah, that wine is
Was the
actually
ruin?
shit or whatever.
No.
Okay.
Because the wine here, it hasn't been in production for a while.
Right. So if there was a bottle, it would have been like very, very aged. Is kind of my.
And,
I know. I was just curious.
And there is a reason that the one person said, "Hey, I really love this wine. If you repair the vineyards, I'll give you money. So it must be good."
Okay. I was just curious if it was the same wine. That's all. But I think I'm ready to head back.
Yeah. Same.
All right, Anna, Aravid.
No, this sounds wonderful. And also, if we have enough to drink to get people tipsy, maybe then I'll divulge our extra information about the Bettany estate, just for fun.
How much do you guys drink?
I'm
Or do you just have the
not
one?
much, just in case.
I'll roll a d4.
Same.
Oh, wow.
Realistically,
I don't drink
I'm
much. It doesn't taste good.
What's up,
realistically,
Cassidy?
I would probably drink like 25% of it before I would probably stop.
Okay. So then, as the day gets darker, and you begin your journey up to the Bettany estate, you all walk through the front door.
And into the title screen.
And into the title screen. No, into the title screen in a second. Because as you walk in, you hear a familiar voice, Aravid, as it calls out to you in front of everyone. Everyone sees this little, small, gnomish-like creature with horns, well-kept white beard, an interesting outfit as it looks at you, Aravid, and says, "Hey, we've been taking care of everything," and then sees the others and goes, "Oh, your friends are here too. Good."
Thanks,
And
Blum.
then we title screen. So the last thing you guys hear before we title screen is, "Thanks, Blunk."
Could I have like a side moment? I'd like to make just a last minute sense motive check, because I was planning on doing this on the walk back home. A sense motive check on Anastasia to see that she was trying to sense motive on me.
I'm gonna say no, because you were
Okay.
busy with Portimer.
Okay.
So, as
And got
As
some
Blanc-
spice stuff over here.
as Blanc is introduced, we will see what happens with Blanc in the next session, session 22.
Huzzah! Great game as always. Again, but for now, everybody say goodbye to YouTube!
Bye, Tim.
Goodbye, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube! Happy dungeon delving, everyone, and pie.
And as always, good pie and stay sweet, everyone.
Yeah.